NFL free agency week 1 is in the books, and we're in the midst of NFL free agency week 2. A lot of moves still left to be made for the San Francisco 49ers, so coming up on today's show, with a lot of movement having taken place across the National Football League and still movement to take place, I put together a list of 10 bold predictions for the offseason as well as the 2022 season for the San Francisco 49ers. My first bold prediction during this offseason: Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel are both going to land contract extensions, and both of them will be of historic proportions. Now, the Niners in free agency so far have been somewhat silent. I think that's going to change here over the span of the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months, and I think Bosa and Deebo Samuel, two franchise pillars on this roster, are going to secure the bag. Now, I put together this Deebo Samuel contract extension projection. This is a little bit less than a player like Davante Adams, who set the record for contracts in terms of wide receivers. It's the same amount of years, worth less money. So my Deebo Samuel contract projection: 5 years, $120 million, average per year, $24 million, which is less than Davante Adams, but the guaranteed money, also a little bit less than Davante Adams, but $65 million guaranteed upon signing, a fat figure for Deebo Samuel. As a wide back last year, outside of quarterbacks, I thought he was the most valuable player in the National Football League, and his value to this offense under Kyle Shanahan was profound last year, and I think it's only going to continue to increase in the years ahead. As for Nick Bosa, here's my contract extension projection for him, coming off a 15.5 sack campaign where he added even more sacks throughout the playoffs and is one of the best edge rushers in the entire sport. For him, also a 5-year deal, $130 million, so more than Deebo Samuel, because I think the Niners prioritize edge rushers over wide receivers. Average per year, $26 million, and guaranteed money a little bit more than Deebo Samuel as well, $75 million. Now, the salary cap in the NFL only going to increase, but these deals, historic, and I think they're deserving for both Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel, and if I'm right, I'm a legend for that. How much per year would you pay Deebo and Bosa, considering their impact, considering their potential, and their age on this 49ers roster? Let me know in the comment section and give me some dollar figures in the comment section down below. Bold prediction number 2. In the 2022 NFL Draft, the 49ers are going to go heavy in a couple of areas. In the secondary, at cornerback as well as safety, they're going to address the offensive line, especially after losing Laken Tomlinson, and we'll see what happens with Aaron Banks after he was selected in the second round of last year's NFL Draft out of Notre Dame, and I think they're also going to address wide receiver. Could it be a player like Christian Watson, who's 6'5", 4.3, 4.4 speed, who played with Trey Lance at North Dakota State? They have a bevy of picks coming up in the 2022 NFL Draft. So they're going to be able to address a multitude of areas and bring in players who hopefully are ready to be impact players from the get-go, be affordable, be building blocks for this team moving forward on both sides of the ball. In addition to those position groups, I could also see the Niners taking an edge rusher or defensive lineman early in the NFL Draft. You look at this roster right now. Tell me, what is the biggest area of need for the 49ers right now currently? Let me know in the comment section. You look at offensive line, you look at safety, you look at backup tight end, another wide receiver. Those are my areas of need. You let me know in the comment section and be the GM. Bold prediction number 3. Trey Lance takes the offense to another level, and he throws for 28 touchdowns and runs for 8 touchdowns in the 2022 season. I'm high on Trey Lance. He has enormous ability. He has arm strength like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. He has superior mobility as well, and pairing up with Kyle Shanahan is going to make this offense dangerous. It's going to make this offense unpredictable, and it's going to make this offense one of the more explosive offenses in the NFL this upcoming season. And against opposing defenses, they're not going to know what's coming. Is it going to be a pass at all 3 levels, outside and inside? Is it going to be a run for one of the running backs like Elijah Mitchell, or is Trey Lance going to run a little RPO? I can't wait to see the level of creativity from Kyle Shanahan calling plays for Trey Lance. And if he comes out in his first year as a starter and throws 28 tutties and 8 touchdowns rushing, I think that'll be an awesome season for the Niners in year one, and they'll be a bona fide playoff team. Your confidence level in Trey Lance is what? Let me know in the comment section once more, as we love hearing from the faithful. Scale it from 1 to 100. 1, you think Trey Lance is a stiff. 100, you're fully confident he can be that guy. Bold prediction number 4, Charvarius Ward lives up to the billing as the number 1 cornerback for the Niners. $14 million per year, I think, is a pretty good salary for a cornerback who's 25 years old, who's trending in the right direction, who's coming off the best year of his career, who was among some of the top cornerbacks when you look at certain statistical, analytical areas defensively across the NFL among all cornerbacks. Charvarius Ward can be a very, very good player, and I think if you pair him alongside Emmanuel Mosley and Ambry Thomas, with Jimmy Ward holding it down on the back end, we'll see what happens at that other safety spot. Charvarius Ward going to be a very good player, and he's going to be worth all of the money that the Niners gave him. Bold prediction number 5, Nick Bosa, 15 sacks in 2022, coming off a season in which in 2021, off that ACL injury, he had 15.5 sacks. Now, of course, 15.5 sacks. He played all 17 regular season games. He was dominant once more in the playoffs, just like he was in 2019. You have 15 sacks of the opposing quarterback. It's a big reason why Bosa is going to get a contract like I broke down earlier. He's going to continue to be a menace for opposing offenses. Number 6, Eric Armstead has a double-digit sack season. Now, he had a 10-sack season back in 2019. He had 6 in 2021. But from week 10 on, after really primarily playing defensive tackle instead of edge, he was one of the best defensive linemen in the sport. And I think that momentum continues with Chris Kosarek as well as D'Amico Ryans. And Eric Armstead is going to ball up and ball out for the Niners defense in 2022. Make sure you give me a follow, Twitter and Instagram, at Chase_Senior. As I continue to bring you the latest 49ers news and rumors, as well as video clips from the show. And if you want to DM me, you can do that as well. Love interacting with the Niner gang at Chase_Senior. Another prediction to get to. The 49ers will be more consistent in this upcoming season, and we won't have as much cardiac 49ers in 2022 as compared to 2021. Because let's face it, 3-5 start to the year. They were so Jekyll and Hyde for a majority of the season. They had to come back in a lot of games, and really, it was a thrilling year for the Niners. But in a week like Week 18, where they're going up against the Rams, and my goodness, they go down in a 17-0 hole. They have to climb all the way back. They were cardiac Niners all throughout the year, and as a fan, you kind of enjoyed that experience, but I mean, we want to live longer lives, right? We don't need to have heart attacks with this team. Okay, we missed number 7, so let's get to number 7. It's all good, Producer Marshall. We keep it rolling, baby. At the end of the day, it's 10 bold predictions, and we're getting to these predictions either way. The defense plays well this year in the second year under D'Amico Ryans, and D'Amico Ryans, in doing so, lands a head coaching job. He interviewed with the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's a rising star in this league. He's really trending in that direction as one of the young, brightest minds on the defensive side of the football. The turnaround, the adjustments, the rallying to the football, the defensive line dominance, the great linebacker play, the improvements we saw in that secondary. It can be credited to D'Amico Ryans, and I think because of that, he turns his experience as a defensive coordinator into a head coaching job. Number 9, Niners get into the playoffs, but they do not win the NFC West. Look, I'm not worried about the Seattle Seahawks. If they start Drew Lock, their dominance over the Niners, it is not going to continue. The Los Angeles Rams, though, yes, they've lost a lot of players in free agency. They still have Matthew Stafford. They still have Sean McVay. They still have a loaded roster. And Trey Lance, I think he's going to have a little bit of an inconsistent up and down year. I broke down his stats earlier, but the Niners are going to get into the playoffs. They won't win the NFC West because this is a jam-packed division. Have to talk about the Arizona Cardinals in that equation as well. But the Niners going to be one of the leading odds makers in terms of making it back to another Super Bowl. Last prediction. All has to do with that backfield for the Niners. Not only is Elijah Mitchell going to continue to just play great football under Kyle Shanahan, Trey Sermon is going to burst onto the scene, and those two young studs will form a dynamic backfield. Trey Sermon was drafted out of Ohio State in the 3rd round. He really had a disastrous rookie campaign because he couldn't beat out Jeff Wilson, JaMychal Hasty in terms of getting playing time. He was a little bit banged up. Then when he finally got some carries late in the year, he suffered that really ugly concussion. He has ability. He has the makings of being a very good running back. He is a scheme fit. Otherwise, Bobby Turner and Kyle Shanahan would not have identified him. Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell, your 1-2 punch in this backfield for the Niners. They form a dynamic backfield for the Niners this upcoming season. What is one prediction that you are really confident in? I want all of you watching right now to get extremely creative with your prediction, and you let me know in the comment section. And also give us a follow here on Rumble, rumble.com/49ers TV. We've continued to grow some subscribers, here on the Rumble app. We're just growing to the platforms that all of you use. More exclusive content here on Rumble to come, just like this video. So subscribe, join us, follow us, and join the movement. It's rumble.com/49ers TV.